Let's get waxed. Wax, that is. Ooh, I hear a new rumor mill that, you know, wax is the new wax. No, let's go into what's chain waxing is all about. And today we're actually going to focus on new chains to be waxed, to put onto your current bike. And the insights of what I've learned of doing so and what I use to make it economical for you to do it yourself at home after this.
Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with a guy. Hi, I'm Justin the Guy. Obviously I have a garage shop. Take scary how to use one bike at a time. If you want to be kept up to date on latest projects and topics, please like and subscribe.
Okay, chain waxing has become a very popular thing within the cycling communities. It's not new whatsoever. At turn of the century, they're using candle wax on their chains in Tour de France. So waxing has actually just been revamped. And I'm not talking about the hairy leg wax and waxing your bits to go faster. No. This is wax for your chain for performance factor. There's also a whole bunch of other channels out there. Zero Friction will go over to details of the benefits of wax and what brand of wax and all that. I'm not here to tell you about what you want to use. I'm just saying, if you want to go wax, and not for just the racers, actually it's for everyone. Why is it for everyone? Well, pretty simple. It's pretty darn clean, smooth, and protects your componentry. What a great fit for your commuter, for your kids' bikes. You know that dirty chain lube that just keeps on dripping on and so forth? Well, let me show you the first benefits of chain wax. Well, the first benefit is your chain that is brand new has a coating on it. This is not high performance lube. This is actually protecting the chain from rusting from point A from the manufacturing to point B, your bike. So the actual lube that's on here, it works kind of well, not high performance. So when you grab your drip lube from any store, WD-40 or whatever, and add it to this chain while in use, just kind of compiles and compounds the problem. Technically, you're supposed to clean these chains before you can put them on your bike, regardless if you're using the drip wax or drip lube or waxing. So you got those things that make you super confused. Well, if you're going to have to clean your chain anyway for being brand new, which you don't have to, just put it on there and ride it until it gets dirty, then it'll collect all the gunk, and then have like a tech like me clean your whole drivetrain. But if you have a clean drivetrain and you want to start off with wax, this is a good key factor to do it. Well, the things you're going to need to wax your chain, that came out just like what I meant. Silka comes out with their own little crock pot thing with a hanger deal, which costs you around about $100. Then you can get a $40 to $45 bag of wax, which will last you for pretty much a long time. And then you have a wax chain from that process. I can tell you right now, with that $100 lift, you can find basically a wax warmer for your bits on Amazon for around about 30 to 40 bucks. You don't have to do the two-pot system. You can do the single one. A digital display is actually preferred, so you know what the temperature of the wax is. But you can do a double like this one, so when you re-wax, which will be another video, of putting your wax chain in one and then shifting over to the cleaner wax, then hanging it up. Ooh, how did this hanger come here? It's actually a bag holder for display for, bag stuff. It's like 15 bucks. So between the $40, 15, we're at $55 just for the wax and hanger. Half price of what they're selling it on Silka. Nothing against Silka, it's pretty cute. But this is a dual, so you get double the waxer for half the price. Weird, right? In any case, you don't have to use the Silka wax. You can use the black. You can use your own mixture. A lot of people have done like paraffin wax that they get from Walmart and mix it with other different graphites and what have you. If you like to play chemist in your garage, go for it. But the funny thing is, Zero Friction, that does testing on all these waxes, did one run on actual just straight up candle wax. It outperformed any drip lube like the petroleum-based drip lubes, Teflon-based lubes as well, outperformed all of them. So just wax is king. And from there, whatever you may add to it might actually add to the performance. So this particular wax here is a higher performance, has tungsten disulfide, 4 different blends of actually paraffin waxes, I believe. Go to his video to get more detail. But the thing is, it holds up. They're talking about 300 to 500 miles-ish. And there's kilometer rating too. I'm in the States, so it's going to be miles, sorry. But in any case, that's where they're kind of reserved on that number. My neighbor, same stuff, is used it on a gravel bike for over 600 miles without any issues. And what the issues are, it just starts making a little bit of noise. Well, there's a solution as a quick fix. So you have your chain waxed at your bike shop, or if you do it yourself and you're like, I don't want to tear this whole thing apart and re-wax it. Well, Silca makes a liquid version of the same thing, just emulsified by 10% water. This you can use as a drip to give you that extra couple hundred miles until you get a time to actually re-wax your chain. The thing is they also have the extender blocks and also high performance blocks. It really gets freaking confusing. I'm talking to the individual that's going, hey, I just want my chains waxed from my commuter to my kids' bikes to everything, and I'm not super worried about wattage. I just want something on there that's going to protect the drivetrain, make the components last a long time, and it's not messier and shit, right? You know, only time you need to drip any kind of lube on a wax chain is when you need to refresh it after 300 or 400 miles. Brilliant, right? You're not doing it every time you go for a ride, so it really cuts down that hassle for sure. There's an efficiency factor. It shifts a lot smoother. The actual wattage goes down on just the regular chain wax from Silca. The high performance one cuts that down, blah, 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 blah. In any case, what it does is actually protects that drivetrain. Lengthens the life of the cassette and the chain rings and all that. So if you've blown through a chain and cassette before and you're like, man, I need something to last a little bit longer because I'm just hard on crap, this might be something you want to consider. But in any case, we're at 55 bucks, right? Just for the waxer and the hanger. All right, then we get ourselves our wax. Yeah, 40 bucks. There's a couple other things you want to actually gather to make this work well. Well, for any case of all chain waxes or waxing processes, starts with a clean chain, stripped from everything. Get stripping, not that stripping pole. Get a stripping solution. There's the end result of using rubbing alcohol. They also have a chain stripper, which used to be clear, but this is what the chain stripper is, or any kind of platform. I use an ultrasonic cleaner, which is bike shop's best friends. You don't have to buy the $150 big tank one, the 15-liter one I have. You can do a little one that just changes cassettes and just be just fine. And also you can clean your jewelry and all sorts of other little things. You can get actually the $40 cheap one if you want, using Simple Green as a solution to first strip the grease from the manufacturing off. Then you do it again with the rubbing alcohol, rinse that and let it air dry, and that should have all the contaminants completely stripped. That's going to give you the best contact from the wax onto the chain and be ready to go. So that's the process, and there's a little secret tool, not so secret. At the end, you use this, not been used with anything else other than for waxing. So buy yourself a $15, $20 brand new one, cheap as possible is fine. And what this will do is when you put this on that chain on the bike or loose, either way you want to do it, push that chain through. This will help break up that wax and keep it from being one huge stiff link to multiple links that actually shift. I do this prior to a test ride, which aids the process of that shedding. Okay, when you have your chain freshly waxed on your bike and ready to go, it's going to take about 3 to 5 miles, sometimes 10, depending how much you pre-shed that chain before use. But once you hit that silky spot of mile number 5 or 10, ooh, it's like butter. You go fast and smooth and fast and smooth and fast and smooth. Anyway, it's really nice. Super quiet. Your friends will be like, why is your drivetrain so quiet? How'd you do that? I got a secret. You know a guy. In any case, let's go on the process of cleaning. I'm going to show you a couple tidbits and tricks on it. And there's actually, basically you can put the chain in a jar, Whoosh it with this stuff a couple times, agitate it, rinse it, then do the same process with rubbing alcohol and whoosh it and rinse it. I'm not going to go into detail of that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Make sure that chain is dry and then use the waxer. The other process is ultrasonic cleaner, and I'm going to show you how to use that now. All right, the first step is you want to remove your new chain out of the packaging. You don't need to, I would suggest waxing this before you pre-cut it to the length it needs to be on the bike. Therefore, you have an extra little linkage for a wax chain. Basically, you put it in a bag, or you can put it in a jar as well, and then you just put straight, simple green to submerge it inside the bag. Therefore, it's ready to go. I like to take this and do the little vacuum trick by sliding it in, and as it's going down, it vacuums up, then I ziplock it. This basically, you run for 5 minutes, agitate the bag, run it for another 5 minutes, agitate the bag so you get somewhere about 15 minutes, then you swap out that fluid with the rubbing alcohol. And once you do the same process, repeat, 5 minutes, agitate it, 5 minutes, agitate it, dump out the alcohol, rinse the chain off, and let it air dry. Then it's ready for waxing. If you're in a humid climate, make sure it's super dry or get a fan to make sure you don't have any rust developing on that exposed metal. I'm not going to lie, this is a taking process. But the thing is once you do it once, you'll not go back. It's kind of fun to play with wax. Remember candle wax and put them on your fingers, melt? It's the same kind of thing. While the thing is cleaning the chain, ultrasonic cleaner, what have you, or sitting in the jar for 10 minutes while agitating multiple times, basically get your wax up to temperature. Take this waxer, pour in about half the amount of the bag, or half amount to fill up the container from the bag, so you have enough to submerge that chain. You don't have to use all that wax. This particular bag of wax has lasted me quite a few chains. I would say 20 to 30 chains. I have not yet marked it. I have new bags I'm going to do the process over at some point, so I'll have an accurate count. But the thing is when you're rehanging it, you're recapturing that wax. So it's basically, you're only using what you need and you're recycling all the others. You can recook this as many times as you want because guess what? It's wax. And as long as it's agitated or move around inside there, then you're moving that graphite, tungsten diphosphide, so sulfite, or whatever materials you're using, as long as it's mixed, and then you're good to go. You just need to cook it from a clean chain about 10 minutes and agitate it within about 5 minutes of that to make sure it's well coated. Then you knock this down from, this one goes up to 203 degrees, and I knock it down to 180 degrees-ish, somewhere around there, to kind of cool that chain down. The reason why you do the 10 minutes is you want that chain to get up to temperature to actually penetrate all those little leakages, and so it has even coating. Then you kind of cool down a little bit, then you hang it. Then you're ready just to let it dry. Once it's dry, then you can actually apply it to the actual bike. Also note, when your chain is cleaning and being waxed, you want to clean all of this up. So you can take some of that degreaser that you may have bought or what have you, put on a rag, floss it, whatever you need to do to get all this contaminant off. You want to start off with a clean drivetrain. If you have your bike serviced at a bike shop and they do a drivetrain service like cleaning, you can ask them not to put any lube on it and leave it dry, and you can wax the chain at home. And maybe they actually have a chain waxing service for them to put on there, and might as well heck do it. For me, I only charge 20 bucks, so it's a pretty inexpensive lift, so you don't have to pay for it yourself. So if you find yourself watching this and going, that is a little too much, Justin, just a little too much. You got to do the basic 3 things, right? Number 1, get the right equipment. Number 2, clean the living crap out of that chain, regardless if it's used, new, or what have you. And number 3, waxing it proper. Yeah, that might be a little tough for those to indulge into this, but lucky for you, I have a service. Basically, if you have a specific chain that you like or want to have on your bike, you could purchase it, have it shipped directly to me. I'll wax it and then ship it back to you. That information is on my website, iknowaguybicycles.com. In addition to, I have a few other chains, mostly SRAM, with all the linkage, whatever, on those chains that have already been pre-waxed and ready to go. So you got two options there to get waxed without being waxed, right? Any case, yeah, I know it's a heavy lift, but it might be something you want to indulge only into re-waxing yourself, but the original waxing you want to leave to the professionals. Am I a professional? Maybe so. Well, in any case, check those out as an option for you. But I guarantee you, once you go wax, you won't go back.